Good afternoon, for Talk Business. You're speaking to Casey. How may I help?
Hello, we've got a new line put in today for fibre broadband,
Yeah.
and it is diabolical. It's not even a viable internet connection.
I'm sorry to hear that. Have you got a red light on your router?
Yeah, it's all working fine. It's just not a viable connection.
Right, okay. Could you explain to me exactly what's happening when you are trying to use the broadband?
Right, we've got a 0.5 megabit connection.
Right. So 0.5.
Which is just unacceptable. You can't. It's just inviable. The engineer that came out says, "Why the hell has Talk? I don't know why Talk have sold or anyone sold you a fibre connection. The box is 3.5 miles from your premises."
Right. Okay. Let me have a look into it for you.
Yeah, like and I know that because we're a big computer company. You can't run fibre into a box and then run copper cables for 3.5 miles and expect any form of usable. It's not even usable.
Let me have a look into it for you to find out exactly. I need to look at obviously what your fibre is currently doing, what state it's in, to try and find out what could be causing it. Could I just take a telephone number and account number, please?
Yeah. So I've got the phone number here is 01354 278
Yep.
088.
Thank you. I'm just going to bob you through security and then I can have a look at that.
Of course.
Could I just take the business name and full address?
Yeah, it's Computer Displays UK Limited, number 5, Lakeside Business Unit, Block Fen, Meeple, Cambridgeshire, CV6 2AY.
Thank you. And what's your full name?
Mr. Bain, Chris Michael.
Thank you, Chris. And could you tell me character 4 and 5 of the account password if you know it?
Did I do a password? Yes, I think I did. It'll be the one I use. Hang on. N and K.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Alright, so let me see what notes I've got so far. So just put installation save fibre, you're getting a 0.5 megabit connection, and let's just load up. See what your router's doing currently. If I just check as well, if I put your postcode in, because when obviously our sales team go to sell fibre, they will check it's obviously available, and that's what automation will tell us if it's available in your area. Is it the speed as well? Is it really bad to where it's unusable?
Yeah, well, 0.5 megabits, it's non-viable. It just doesn't load. I know because we're a big IT company. We specialise in various things, including high-end networking. You can't. It's not. If somebody said to me the fibre box is 3.5 miles away, I'd have said don't bother because it will not work because you can't take a fibre connection into the box and then proper pairs out for a 3.5 mile journey and expect any amount of internet to actually carry at speed.
Yeah, of course.
It's obviously the further away. Like even the OpenReach engineer said, I've never installed a connection more than a mile away from the box. He said, I can tell you before I even install it. He says, and I've got to install it because that's the job I've been given. He says, but I can tell you now it won't work.
At the moment, it won't allow me. Sorry.
I knew that anyway because it's my job to know that,
Of course.
But I couldn't call you about it until he'd finished the install, which is just done.
It won't physically let me look at the line at the moment because it's still saying it's with the engineer because he's just finished it. It won't let me test the line, but what I am going to do, I'm just going to check when they've placed the order, what it says about fibre availability.
Right.
To say you're 3 miles away from the green box.
At least 3 miles. It's about 3. I know where the green box is. He told me where the green box is. Because that was the first. Because he could see that we know what we're doing. He said, "Do you know where your green box is?" I said, "No." He said, "It's the old police station." That's way too far to carry.
Yeah, of course. Like even with mine, I'm probably only not even a quarter of a mile away from the one where I live.
Yeah, I said, and so I know that because we do fibre and Ethernet networking and all sorts of stuff. But I said that just won't work. He says, I know it won't. He says, I've still got to. I said, there's no point you installing it. I'll ring talk. He says, I've got it. He says, the job's here. I have to carry out the job and install it anyway. So obviously he's done it. He says, you won't even be able to talk until I've signed off the job and handed it back.
Yeah, it's not been handed back yet, you see. But I'm just going to check exactly what it says about having the right fibre available where you are.
That shouldn't have even been listed as available.
Well, that's what I mean.
3.5 mile distance, that shouldn't even been listed as available. Because anybody would know that that's not, I know there's, the point of up to 70 megabits, and I understand how that works, but that's basically because it means that if you're half a mile away or, 3/4 of a mile away, you might only get 30 or 40 megabits. But 3.5 miles away, it's such an enormous distance, it's boring to completely kill the connection.
I'm just checking now. Like, it's weird how it actually says we are able to get it to you as well. But on your order confirmation, they said to you that your download speed is 75.44, but typically it should be between 72 and 73, which obviously you're not anywhere near whatsoever.
Oh, no. And you've no hope of being anywhere near that. Not at that distance.
Have you done any have you done the hardwired speed checks then, Chris?
Yeah, I've done that. That's the first thing I do whenever I have a connection put in for anything. So the first thing I did was run the speed test on a laptop. I've done that via Wi-Fi. I've done it hardwired, and you're getting on average half a megabit. You've run the speed test app on my iPhone as well. That's coming in at half a megabit. The engineer ran his speed tests before he left, and I made him show me what it was. He says, I've got to run some speed tests. I said, right, you can show me what they are. And I don't think he wanted to, but I made him. And he literally got like 0.6 megabit a second.
Right. Just bear with me. What am I just doing now? Where am I? Who's about? What kind of give her about?
We're a massive IT company. So by the time we start connecting, if I've got one item connected to the network, it might be functionable. But I go and connect 10, 15 devices on, that's it. It just won't work.
Yeah, it's just going to be completely pointless. Even paying for it.
It's not even. Well, it's not even. It's not usable. I'm just a bit frustrated that's been sold because you guys, somebody, like the engineer said. I said to the engineer, I said, do they not know where the box is? They said, well, they should do. Everybody who's providing it should know where the box is, the closest box in relation to your premises. I said, well, why the hell has somebody gone and sold it to me?
So all we go off is we do a fibre provide checker. It comes off Openreach's system. We'll put your address in. If it says it's available, then we can order it. So on their system, they've told us that we can provide fibre to you. But obviously, that really shouldn't have been that way.
I reckon I could send internet data by pigeon quicker.
What I can do is I'm just going to pop you on a brief hold if that's okay, because I want to have a look and see what we can do about, obviously, if even the engineer's showing you the speeds and it's completely ridiculous, we need to see what we can do.
It's just not usable. I can't run a business connection that it's not even, dial-up. That's dial-up speed.
Yeah, and because obviously the order's not been boxed off on our side yet, so I'll need to see where we can go from here at the moment, because I'm unable to actually test anything. So I'm okay to put me on a brief hold, Chris?
You can, of course.
Thank you. Hi, Chris. Thank you for holding.
That's okay.
Just had a quick chat with one of our managers next to me to see where we can go. Because at the moment, up until midnight, it probably won't show us connected properly on our side. So I'm unable to actually test it. What has advised me is we have a 10-day slot, basically, service level agreement for your line to settle. Within them 10 days, if nothing improves, then we can basically let you leave free of charge.
Right. Okay.
I can leave the notes in the account because obviously we're not going to be able to test anything just as yet. But I'd say if tomorrow, if you give us a ring, let us know if anything's improved and we'll actually be able to test it on that side. Because obviously how it's gone is all for each of advisors, they can get fibre to you. So whether or not there is I don't know if there is a closer green box anywhere near you, or whether or not the one 3 miles away is the closest. But from what obviously they've advised, fibre should be fine.
I believe there is a green box that's closer, I've been told. But because I've spoke to the landlord about, his connection, because he's got fibre to the premises.
Yeah, because really everyone should have problems if that's the case of how far away it is.
Well, he's got fibre to the premises, so he hasn't got, fibre to the box and then copper, so he's actually got a fibre line coming all the way to his building, which is like a leased line, basically. So he's got a fibre leased line, but he said when he was looking into regular fibre, there was a closer box that he asked about, and he even gave him the box number. The reply back from Openreach to whoever it was he spoke to was that box is in a bit of a mess. We don't want to mess with it.
Oh. Right, okay, because my manager just said to me, they must have picked the wrong box. He said, there's no way it can be that far away, basically. But there must be another one closer.
Yeah.
Because they just advise us, we do the sending and they do the job. That's basically what it is. They do the job, we just book it.
You just book it in, yeah. But 3.5 miles away, the box is. Which obviously anybody that knows anything about fibre internet knows that won't give you a viable connection.
Yeah, if you walk around most places, any really street, you see about 5 boxes along that road.
Exactly. We are a little bit out in the sticks. So we're not in the most.
Yeah, but still, even in rural areas, you do get quite a few of them.
Yeah, that's the thing. There should be a closer box somewhere because we are in a rural area. But 3.5 miles to the box is so. I knew that the second the chap said, your box is 3.5 miles away, and I said, that just isn't going to work, is it? He says, I don't think it is. He says, you'll be lucky to get half a megabit. You'd be lucky to get any speed out of it at all if it works. And it's just diabolical. We're going to need some sort of internet connection. So, obviously I'll have to call you back tomorrow when the job's signed off from the engineer and you guys can actually do speed tests your end.
Yeah.
And then maybe at that point we might have to look at other options. Fibre to the premises FTTP connection has already been plumbed in by BT.
Yeah, also we use BT's line. We just put our services on it.
So the landlord he's got a premises here as well. He's Unit 4. So he's had fibre. He paid $3,500 to have fibre connection brought all the way down to the trading estate. Yeah,
he's had a circuit put in.
Yeah, so now
we do that as well, but they are quite pricey.
Well, I know those. When he had the circuit put in, he had it done so it was big enough and powerful enough to handle multiple connections because he paid for that specifically. And he asked for that on purpose because he wants to expand and put some offices in. So he said that my circuit that I paid to have put in is already available for you and other offices and other buildings to tap into.
Yeah.
And although BT put it in, obviously I presume any BT partner can tap into that as well.
Yeah, really. It's just it's a bit strange, with what you said, obviously, when you said the landlord advised there was a closer box, but they said they didn't want to touch it. which is like
well,
it's theirs.
That's why he ended up having a fibre lease line pulled all the way and a dedicated connection put in, because whoever it was said they wouldn't touch the closer box. And the closer box, I think, is about a mile and a half away. I need to find out where it is and get the box number for you. So if I find that for tomorrow.
Yeah, of course. Like, you can find it all out. Like, if we can even, what we do, we raise it as like what we call a damage report, where Openreach have done something wrong, and they need to basically fix that. Like, I'm just leaving a little note, just to say that also I have advised you I've got a 10-day service level agreement just for the line to settle, and as if it's still not receiving what you have been agreed to receive, you can leave term free.
Fine.
So I just need to leave that and settle if in this time speeds have not been met as promised, customer can leave without a termination fee.
Lovely.
So I've just put basically all the notes on there. So what you've been advised, what you're getting, how far away you are from the green box. Our order obviously said that you are allowed to get fibre. It's not shown as complete, so we can't do any testing yet. But you are going to call back tomorrow for it to hopefully then we can test it all for you.
You're a superstar. Lovely. Thank you very much.
It's okay. Have you got any more questions for me, Chris?
No, you've been really helpful so far. So I'll give you guys a call tomorrow. We'll do some tests and then we can go from there, can't we?
No worries. Well, thank you for calling. Have a lovely day. I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.